We hope you have a chalice at home or a candle and that you have it nearby. These little rituals help us stay connected to each other.
It's time now to light our chalice as we say together the same words that we say each week at our fellowship.
We light this flame as a symbol of new life, enlightening our way, as a symbol of the warmth in every human heart.
Let the lighting of this flame rekindle in us the inner light of hope, of peace, and of love. May we share that light with all people.
Good morning. I am Marie Luna, the Director of Congregational Life here at the Fellowship. Thank you for joining us today. If you are joining us from another Unitarian Universalist congregation, welcome. If this is your first time visiting the Fellowship, I want to extend you a special welcome. I hope that you will reach out to me to get more connected here. Today's service is being led and supported by Fellowship members Veronica Flower, Scott Peoples, Colleen Prendergast, Marie Rohr, and Debbie Wagner. Reverend Leah Angiri, our Associate Minister, Steve Seek, our Music Director, our wonderful musicians, and Adam Robinson, our AV Tech. I am also so thankful to local musicians Adriel Donay and Christopher Gold for contributing songs for this service. If you haven't seen them, check them out. Their shows highlight what I love best about live music. Today's service is in praise of Mile of Music and live music. We have many different voices sharing reflections today because I am only one of many who find great meaning in coming together in this way. To start the service, I invite you to take a deep breath and become aware of the others in this shared space. Consider singing along to the hymns and maybe even moving to the music. While we aren't together in person quite yet, we have created this online space as a sacred one by showing up here and now.
Return again, return again, return to the home of your soul. Return again, return again, return to the home of your soul. Return to who you are, return to what you are, return to where you are, born and reborn again. Return again, return again, return to the home of your soul. Return again, return again, return
I don't really play the drums or any musical instrument. Yeah, tell you something I think you'll understand. Whoa, I tell you something. Well, I guess I don't really sing either. Well, I don't sing well either. But the thing is, I love to watch other people sing and perform. I love to go hear live music. I like to hear it when people write their own songs. They pour their heart into their songs, and they're writing about things they really care about, like love, or holding hands, or honeybees, or cats. That's why I love this thing called the Mile of Music. The Mile of Music. Ah, yes. There's an artist I heard at the Mile of Music who wrote a goofy song about cats, specifically hairless cats. I told you I don't sing very well, but this is how it goes. Jeffrey, Jeffrey Jones, Jeffrey, Jeffrey Jones, I can see all of your bones and I don't like it. So that's a small sample of what you might hear at the Mile of Music. But why do they call it the Mile of Music? Well, you see there's this great area downtown, College Avenue, and between Lawrence University on the far east end of College and Spat's Restaurant on the west end of downtown College Avenue, downtown, that's where the Mile of Music happens, and it's about a mile. So there are a lot of great bands playing in different venues, and you could go up and down the mile and hear band after band and really enjoy yourself. Once a year, in early August, you can walk up and down, see music for 4 days straight, and really enjoy yourself. Some of those shows are in bars, but a lot of the shows are outside too. And there are also workshops, music workshops, where you can learn how to play an instrument or learn more about how to make music. This is the part of the festival called the music education component. One year I went to a mariachi band workshop and learned about the Mexican tradition that includes guitars and violins and trumpets. I also went to a drum workshop. It was fun, but I was reminded once again that for me, I would rather watch others play music than perform myself. Anyway, the Mile of Music has been a great thing for the city of Appleton. We get to see each other in a positive environment. We get to hear a lot of music that we've never heard before, bands from the Fox Cities and Appleton, of course, but we also hear bands from Nashville, Tennessee, and from across the country, from places like California and New York and North Carolina. And Claire Kelly, the singer who sings that Jeffrey Jones song, she's from Minnesota. She was back at the Mile of Music this week. Lions and tigers and bears, I'm adding cats with no hair to this list of fears that I've had all these years. You could call me a coward, that's fair. Jeffrey, Jeffrey Jones, Jeffrey, Jeffrey Jones, I can see all of your bones and I don't like it. Hope to see you all at the Mile of Music, my friends. And that is our time for all ages.
Our reading today is an excerpt from How Music Bonds Us Together by Jill Suddy from the Greater Good Science Center at the University of California, Berkeley. Most of us hear music from the moment we are born, often via lullabies, and through many of the most important occasions in our lives, from graduations to weddings to funerals. There is something about music that seems to bring us closer to each other and help us come together as a community. There's little question that humans are wired for music. Researchers recently discovered that we have a dedicated part of our brain for processing music, supporting the theory that it has a special, important function in our lives. Listening to music and singing together has been shown in several studies to directly impact neurochemicals in the brain, many of which play a role in closeness and connection. Now, new research suggests that playing music or singing together may be particularly potent in bringing about social closeness through the release of endorphins. In a series of ingenious studies, researchers Chris Lork and Nathan Arbuckle studied how musical reactivity, how much one is affected by listening to music, is tied to group processes, such as one's sense of belonging to a group, positive associations with in-group members, and responses to group threats in various populations. Music makes us affiliate with groups. But how does music do this? Some researchers believe that it's the rhythm in music that helps us to sync up our brains and coordinate our body movements with others. And that's how the effects can be translated to a whole group. All of this evidence helps confirm music's place in augmenting our social relationships. Perhaps that's why, when you want people to bond, music is a natural place for making that happen. Whether at concerts, social events, or awe conferences, music can help us connect, cooperate, and care for each other. This suggests that if we want to have a more harmonious society, we would do well to continue to include music in our lives.
Hello, friends. I'm Adriel Dene, and this is my dad, Stu Heiss.
Hi.
We are coming to you from my living room, and we're honored to be a part of your gathering today. We're going to play a song called Troubles, and I chose this song because, well, it was inspired by something my dad used to say to me when I was young. When I was really anxious and worried, he would tell me about this idea of being above the fray, and that it was possible to find a place of peace even inside of chaos and pain. And music has always been a way for me to access that space, and I wanted to put the idea into a song. And so this song is sort of part of my journey through grief and finding peace through learning to trust myself and love myself deeper. And I'm so happy to be able to play music with my dad again. We had just started performing together before the pandemic started, and then there were many months where we didn't see each other, and we just recently started playing together again, and it's been so wonderful. So we hope that this song brings you peace, and we hope you have a wonderful week. I have a very noisy piano chair, stool. Okay. Lately, I've been afraid of getting old and losing what I love before I've let it grow. But in my hiding place, there are many rooms holding what I've sown and keeping their new blooms to tell you all my troubles would leave me breathless and take all my time when I don't wanna spend it looking for an answer when I know I won't find it until I let go. But this grief feels like a maze, and I need to see above it to some other place where I can finally trust in all these little leanings that make me think that love is the way to get high. I got to find a way through the hope and find a way to believe in that I'll find a way to know myself again. Well, in my darkest days, I felt the shining. It hangs above the fray, out beyond defining, hidden in a treasure worth the greatest mining, but easy as breathing in. It helped me find a way through the binding, find a way to an easing where I found a way to trust myself again. Ooh, find a way through the hope and find a way to believe in that I'll find a way to love myself again, to love myself again, to love myself again. We hope you have a wonderful week. Bye.
Art to me is beauty. It decorates life and makes it better. Art has the ability to create joy. Beauty and joy are intangibles. In my life, when you add surprise to the joy and beauty, that combination can have the ability to move me spiritually, to leave me speechless and in awe. Those who write and create music are artists. Musicians bring that art to life through their skills and talent with their instruments. They take it off the paper and into sound that can move us all in a myriad of ways. And although I'm a visual person, when I hear beautiful music, it can stop me in my tracks. Music has been an art form that I've always connected to since I was a preteen. I've always been wired to react to music. Different music can affect me in different ways. Certain upbeat, energetic sounds and rhythms invite my body to move in response. Other slower, soft music I have found can soothe me. A voice and lyrics added to music can move me to tears or laughter. Music that features strings like cello, violin, bass, harp, and guitar are the sounds that seem to speak to me the most. But in addition to the sounds of the instruments, there's another layer to music that appeals to me. It's the lyrics. I love words. They paint the picture of what the artist wishes to convey to the listener. When artists write their own music and then perform it, there is a real great chance that I will be able to catch a real part of who they are. Since my own personally painful and challenging childhood, I have been graced with enough healing that I'm able today to lay down my emotional armor of self-protection to risk sharing some real parts of who I truly am. And I have found that I, in turn, appreciate others opening up and offering bits of their life stories and how they have trudged through pain, fear, and other life's hills and valleys. When other people grant me glimpses of their raw vulnerability, of who they are and where they've been, I honor it. And when artists set them to music and sing them to me, it moves me in such a way that I can only describe as sacred. But I don't live in the deep truth of life all the time. I need to balance those moments with rocking revelry of loud, energetic music that makes me smile and dance to words of anger, rebellion, and celebration that we can all relate to in life. This music festival called Mile of Music, and the offspring of the many live music engagements that happen throughout the year here in the Valley because of it, is a thing of living beauty in itself. It keeps on creating connections between those of us that choose to put ourselves in their presence by taking in the music and the artists putting it out there. When audience members and artists collide, life changes them in ways out of our control. That is where surprise, beauty, and joy erupts in my life. And what could be better than that?
The first time I experienced what I consider the best of what live music can be was when I was in high school at a show by the Milwaukee-based band Little Blue Crunchy Things. They played a lot in my hometown, but my friends and I also traveled to as many of their shows as we could, including to Shank Hall, where they were very well known and loved. Their fans were the best. We knew the words, we sang loud, we knew the moves, and we danced all night. It was a true shared experience. We were part of the Little Blue family for a while. This particular band had a special way of connecting with the crowd. They had entertaining band members, particularly the very charismatic lead singer. They had good banter and stories between songs. They encouraged crowd engagement. For example, there were some songs that people jumped on a certain word to, or a song where we all were encouraged to keep getting lower until we were practically on the floor for those of us who were able. They even had a secret song that they would only play at Halloween, which made sure that we all showed up to that particular show. While there aren't many bands that I can now follow around the state to see, I feel so fortunate to have such a vibrant music scene here in the Fox Valley, thanks in many ways to Mile of Music. As you may have guessed, this is my favorite time of the year. I especially love how opportunities for original music has expanded in the last 8 years since the festival started. Seeing live music is not just a fun time for me, but it is part of my spiritual identity. Casper ter Kuile defines rituals as having 3 key components: intention, attention, and repetition. Intention refers to recognizing the meaning behind your action, considering whether it connects you to a sense of something bigger than yourself, or whether it has a spiritual or life-affirming purpose. Attention refers to being present and engaged with the moment. And repetition, of course, means doing the action often, perhaps at specific times of the day or month. These 3 defining features resonate deeply with me in how I consider my spiritual practices. And live music could absolutely be considered a spiritual practice for me. While I do have spiritual practices that I do by myself, the most powerful practices have always been in group settings. I am a pagan, and so doing group ritual is the most powerful connection to others, to something greater than myself, and to myself. Live music for me combines many of these elements. We learned in today's reading that research has shown listening to music is tied to group processes, such as one's sense of belonging, and that music augments our social relationships. And I have absolutely experienced this. It is rare when I don't see one of my live music buddies, as I like to think of them, at a show. These people who, like me, are at all the shows. We are the ones who are listening deeply, who buy the merch or offer a tip. We say thank you to the artists. We then often post about it, encouraging others to join us. We feel bad when the crowd behind us is louder than the music. We are reveling in the many options throughout the week to hear live music, especially original music. My listening tastes have expanded since the 90s, and I love it. In case you were wondering, the Little Blue Crunchy Things band that I mentioned earlier played for about a decade in the 90s, and then the bandmates all moved on to other projects. They graciously have offered several reunion shows every 5 years or so, and have one in the works for next spring. And I will be front and center, singing loudly and dancing along.
Hey everybody, Christopher Gold here in my living room where it is very hot. We're trying to put off turning on that AC. And I figure if you guys are seeing this in August, it's probably pretty hot for you too. So it's like we're together now. I was very happy my friend Marie asked me to be a part of this as she was explaining what you all do when you get together and the things you talk about and think about and that kind of stuff. It seemed very appealing to me. It seems like a good place to be with some good folks. So I'm going to play you a song, and it's called New Heaven, and it's about trying to answer big questions about life and even the afterlife for my son. And it goes like this. You said life takes forever. I said that's a long time. but I would only ask for more. After spending mine with you, we could stay a little longer down here in this hole. Just wishing that it was deeper and that we didn't have to go. But I know it drags on sometimes. But I'd bet that when it's gone, it don't feel all that long. And if there's a heaven, well, I will meet you there. And it won't even matter if they let us in. Well, those gates could be locked, I won't even care. I'll just build us a new heaven for the rest of us to share. But I know it's unsure sometimes. But I know what I miss, and I'm certain I know why. But I know it drags on sometimes. But I'd bet that when it's gone, it don't feel all that long. Stop me before I waste this breath. Stop me before I throw one more word away, saying something true about second chances, and that trouble ain't always. But I know it's unsure sometimes. But I know what I miss, I'm certain I know why. But I know it drags on sometimes. But I'd bet that when it's gone, it don't feel all that long. Thanks, y'all. Hope to see you soon. Be good.
Hi, my name is Colleen, and I'm a member at the Fox Valley Unitarian Universalist Fellowship. And I want to talk to you about my experience with music, and especially live music, and sharing it with other people. I moved here a few years ago, and really within a couple of days, Mile of Music was happening. And I love music, I love to volunteer. They were looking for volunteers, and so I signed up. And I thought, what better way to meet people and to do something I love, which is listening to live music. So that sold me on being here in this community. I can't say enough about Mile of Music. I've continued to volunteer with them for the last couple of years and have volunteered year-round with them at other places like Riverview Gardens and Outer Edge, Gibson Music Hall. So live music and community, to me, it's a way of connecting with people without conversation. It's just having fun, maybe dancing, singing, just enjoying the outdoors, the live music, or sometimes it's indoors when it's winter. And it's just, I find it to be such a great mood booster too, and especially if I'm dancing, that's just the added benefit. So sharing live music is good for my heart, it's good for my soul, and I can't wait for Mile, which is coming up so soon, and to volunteer again and see some familiar faces. So I just think it's such a gem in Appleton that we have so many musicians that are singer-songwriters, and that we have a wonderful community that supports artists. So that's it. Hope to see you at Mile. Come on down.
As we started thinking about this question today, just in the kitchen actually a little bit ago, we were remembering the fact that going to live music was a big part of how we started our relationship together, and all of the emotional experiences of being participants in live music. We went to Lilith Fair, which was a fair of all women performers in Milwaukee, and connecting us to each other,
connecting us to the people there, to the music there, and the meaning, the message.
Women's music and the power of women's music, and being women in a relationship together. And
music packs so much emotion and meaning, and it communicates stories and lessons and just philosophies and beliefs, and you don't have to agree, but you can identify simply through the rhythm or the tone or the notes, or music is.
Yeah, music is. We were also talking about the fact that, it allows you to access emotional experiences, and certainly in looking back on this past year and recognizing our inability to access those emotional experiences together, it really highlighted for us, as we were talking about, how you go to be a part of a community and listen to music and celebrate artists who are on their own spiritual journey and path, and they're tapping into deep stuff personally, and it's connecting them to the other people in the audience. And as Debbie said, maybe you don't agree with every little thing, but there's usually always something that strikes a chord somewhere with you. And
it makes a difference.
Yeah, this past year was hard without that.
In the community, in the group that witnesses music with you and sings the songs with you, and the connection between the people in the audience, there's a reason why people say, I love that song. I do too. You share something in common at that point. Mm-hmm. And for some people, witnessing live music is getting what they can out of the music while remaining anonymous within the community, which is the audience. Yeah. So everybody has their purpose for being there, and someone, I would venture to guess, will always take something away, no matter how large or small.
And when you were saying that, it makes me think about the fact that each of us, as we're sitting there, then also, at least I'm speaking for myself, I don't sing. I play some instruments, but I don't sing. But when I'm at a live music event and there's a lot of people, I can sing, and I'm not self-conscious like at the fellowship. Quite frankly, a lot of times I lip sync the words because I'm like, I don't want anybody hearing what I'm saying. But when you're at a live music performance and the music is going, you kind of get carried away, and you can be your own little artist, connecting with that artist, singing their song with them and with each other, and in a very, open, uninhibited way, being your own little musician and artist. Because I think we all secretly have fantasized at one point in time about being an artist on the stage, just belting it out at the top of our lungs, and connecting with people in that way. And, some of us can't, and some of us can, and that's awesome.
Yeah, music is a forum for joy, and it brings people together. And like Veronica said, you can sing at the top of your lungs. How many people would dance in public if it were not for a live music performance?
Absolutely.
And so it's a forum for joy.
Yeah. So we're excited that Mile of Music is happening, and we'll connect with our community again in different ways and get introduced to new stories, new people, and develop new, I guess we'll call them relationships, and I guess we'll call it crushes, because we usually walk away from Mile of Music with a rock star crush. With a rock star crush on somebody.
So make the music yours.
Yeah, absolutely.
I had no idea what the Mile of Music would be like when it debuted in the summer of 2013. Being casual friends with Mile of Music founders Corey Chisel and Dave Willems, I knew it would be a cool thing for the music scene, especially for artists who like to play their own songs. But I had no idea it would become my favorite part of the summer, perhaps the best thing about living in the city of Appleton, the city we've called home since 1989. That first year, 2013, was a whirlwind. One of the highlights was seeing Melanie Flannery, who grew up in the fellowship. She had moved to New York, pursued a career in music, and played that first mile with the Mel Flannery Trucking Company. Her performance at Mile 1 was phenomenal, and it was exciting to see how high her star had soared. That first year, I heard about 22 hours of music in 4 days. It's almost embarrassing to say, but I heard about 55 hours of music at subsequent Mile of Music festivals. That first year, it was wonderful to see music fans seemingly coming out of the woodwork. Old friends I hadn't seen for a long time that were huge fans, but not night on the town partiers. When I saw them, I knew it was about the music. We chatted briefly, for the most part. Mile of Music fans know the festival isn't the place for old friends to catch up. Not during the performances, anyway. The Mile team even sells mints you can give at shows that say shh on them to alleviate talking during the performances. Shh. Instead, what we share at the Mile of Music is a lot of knowing smiles as we pass each other on the street or quickly compare schedules over a piece of pizza at Sal's, if we even stop to eat dinner. The 7 years of the Mile of Music in Appleton, 2013 to 2019, and back this year, 2021, which I should note is a free music festival. These years have shaped some of the most magical memories of my life. As a community of music fans, it has helped us find meaning in this shared experience, even if we aren't going to the same shows. And with hundreds of bands from across the nation to choose from every year, that's often the case. There's so much to share, but this morning I'll relate my experience at Mile of Music 6 in 2018. Many a Mile Music enthusiast has laughed watching me jog, even sprint down the street during the festival. It is, of course, the Mile of Music. And sometimes that's how far one needs to travel to get to the next best show. But another form of transportation, the bicycle, made the third night of Mile 6 a momentous night of adventure. Accompanied by fellow biker, my friend Tony Gonzalez, we zipped from the nightclub eloquence of Julie Haltigan at McGinnis Pub to the funk rock sounds of Luthi at the Red Lion Paper Valley Hotel, and to the off-avenue indulgence of the Crane Wives at Riverside Bar and Grill. As thunder started to roar and rain to trickle down, we raced from between the locks up a secret pathway behind the old Michael's restaurant and back to McGinnis, narrowly averting the torrential downpour. As we slid our way to the front row, Philip Michael Scales silenced the boisterous crowd with his heartfelt eloquence and rapid-fire truth-telling. When the show ended, it was 11 p.m. Already a late night, but not for 2 Mile 6 bike riders. Still to come were Goodnight Goldust, Me Like Bees, Audiodacity, and a 1 a.m. rescheduled show, Melodyne, to close out the night. As an aside, Lizzie No, a performer I did not see that historic night, was actually my favorite performer from Mile of Music 6. With her beauty, grace, and style, the singer, songwriter, guitarist, and harpist from Brooklyn captured my attention from the first note she played at mile 6. Back to the story. As we walked our bikes down College Avenue at 2 a.m., we encountered a newly married couple and the last vestiges of their wedding party. They were beaming with newly married euphoria, but inexplicably, were also interested in knowing what this Mile of Music thing was all about. So what do you want to know about Julia, Emily, that B band, and Philip Michael Scales? So that's my Mile of Music story. Listen up. Enjoy the music, the songwriting, the passion these artists have for their craft. This year's festival is drawing to a close. Today's the last day. But there still may be time to see Sarah Clanton or the Arcadian Wild, if you hurry. The music, the shared memories, the excitement, the Mile of Music, and it's all ours.
This is the time we lift up the joys and concerns of our gathered community. It is our practice and commitment to always think expansively about who is included in our embrace. And during virtual times, our reach is even wider, stretching across space and time in new ways. As we seek to know and care about our big circle, let us first settle into our own lives, whatever might be triumphant or tender within ourselves and our inner circles. May you become companion to yourself. If you would like to share whatever is on your mind and in your heart right now, whether it is your life news or a request to be held in intention or prayer, you can type your joy and concern into the chat box. If you'd like to be included in our weekly care email, you can email anyone on staff or fill out our website form. We'll drop a link into the chat now. After this service, a member of the care team will host a breakout room for anyone who might like to share more about their joy or concern, or simply be in conversation about how life is going these days. Care and connection are available during the week, too. Please contact our office if you'd like a listening presence or some help accessing resources. And a minister or care team member will be in touch. As we give deep attention to ourselves, may it ripple out so that we can be present with each other. May this practice renew us again and again so that we might be able to offer and receive support and connection. May this silence help make it so.
And we believe in life and in the strength of love, and we have found a need to be together. We have our hearts to give, we have our thoughts to receive, and we believe that sharing is an answer.
What does it mean to make an offering? Back when we gathered in the building, and we will again soon, The offering involved passing the basket, allowing people to put whatever they could offer that week. It had a real, tangible feeling. And then our ushers would come to the front as we sang, "From you I receive, to you I give. Together we share, and from this we live." This is still true. We give and receive as we are able. And this community allows us a chance to do that in so many ways. In our words, our actions, our commitments, and our financial resources. We know that there are those among us who are in need, and we are here to help. Please don't hesitate to reach out to Reverend Christina or Reverend Leah if you are in need of financial or emotional support, so we can offer help. And if you are one who is feeling stable and able to give, we ask that you do so that our ministries might be able to continue for the months and years to come. As we come to the end of our service, we will extinguish our chalice flame, even as we still hold its light in our hearts. Please join me. As we extinguish this flame, let us go our ways with hope in our hearts, with our spirits renewed, and with a deeper understanding of life's mystery. Let us carry the light of compassion and commitment to build a better world. Tori Gold recently posted an article titled "Cherishing the Return of Entertainment" from the Milwaukee Record. In part, the author, Tyler Moss, writes, "This time around, let's watch the opener. Let's put our phones away and be part of the moment instead of trying to capture it to share on social media later. Let's buy the merch and the extra drink if the budget allows. Let's tip our bartenders and be patient with employees as they knock the rust after so many months away. Let's get loud when expected to, and let's listen. Let's seek out unfamiliar acts and go to shows happening outside of our own neighborhood. Let's buy that album we've had on regular rotation on Bandcamp or Spotify. Let's dance to the music, even if we might look foolish. May it be so." After these closing words, we will have several small breakout groups for conversation. In a moment, we will hear a short postlude song. If you do not wish to participate in the small group conversations, you can use that time to leave. If you choose to stay, and I hope that you will be invited to choose your own breakout group. One option will be to join me to talk more about live music and the themes today. Another group will be led by one of our reflection leaders. You will also be able to join someone from our care team if you would like to share more personally and deeply about whatever it is on your heart. And one final group will be for informal, unmoderated chit-chat. If you have any trouble selecting your group, just stay here and we will help you. And with that, go in peace, knowing we embrace each other, even now from a distance.